As Sandy, Pelly, and Florence adjust to life in Dallas again, Richard, Diana, and Jennifer prepare for a trip to the Alpha Centauri system. Alpha Centauri consists of 3 stars, a G-type yellow star, a K-type orange star, and an M-type red dwarf star. Our own sun is a G-type star, so it is most likely that the similar one in the Alpha Centauri system has a planet orbiting it that we can live on.
We will set course for Alpha Centauri now.
Diana, report.
Course is plotted, Richard. Awaiting your command.
Jennifer, robot, report.
All power systems are stable and the space-time warp device is fully charged.
Diana, activate the device.
Engaging.
Wah!
We have arrived in the Alpha Centauri system. We will proceed to its brightest star, Alpha Centauri A.
Over several days, the USS Sandy visits the 3 planets orbiting the large yellow star.
So far, all 3 of the planets we have visited are not suitable for human life. In fact, all 3 of them are too hot. One is so hot its surface is made of molten rock. One is like Venus and the third is like Mars, but much warmer, but with too thin of an atmosphere.
Then we move on to the orange star. Diana, fire the engines to move us towards Alpha Centauri B.
Will do, Richard. Engaging.
We have confirmed that Alpha Centauri B is orbited by only one planet. And it is Earth-like.
Awesome. We humans may be able to live permanently on another planet after all.
But then a short time later, the USS Sandy receives a message.
Attention alien vessel. This is Commander Chimes of the Ribico Empire. You are trespassing on our territory. Identify yourself.
This is Richard Sims, commander of the USS Sandy from the planet Earth. We come in peace. We are explorers seeking worlds we humans may someday live on.
I understand. But this world is already occupied by my people.
Could you give us a map of your empire's territory so we will know not to trespass again?
Sure. We will transmit such a map to you soon.
The Ribicos have given us a detailed map of their empire. And I think we need to go to the Sabari and talk to them about the situation.
Why is that?
Because it seems they encountered the Ribicos long before we did. On the planet Mars, Richard is having an argument with one of the Sabari. Why do you humans treat us like criminals? From our point of view, we bought this world, and indeed your entire star system fairly from the interstellar race that claimed to own it. What? How could any other race claim to own a star system they don't live at? What race are you talking about? The Ribico Empire. They rule more than a dozen star systems and are said to be millions of years old. They told us they explored your system centuries ago and found a planet there we Sabari could modify to make it habitable. They also said the other parts of the solar system were rich in resources. So we bought the rights to colonize the system from them. How much did you pay them? 15 trillion credits. But here's the thing. They never mentioned Earth or humans in the data they sent us. We only found out about Earth after we arrived here. By then it was too late to turn back. Sounds like you got scammed. That's why Commander Otto thought he could challenge you humans for control of Mars. He didn't know you were native to this system. And even after he learned the truth, his pride wouldn't allow him to back down.
This is not much different from the Louisiana Purchase, in which France claimed to own a vast territory that was actually inhabited by various Native American tribes, the so-called and iconic Plains Indians that whites had to spend decades afterwards fighting to subdue. The Louisiana Purchase did not bring any financial benefit to those Native Americans. Later, Russia claimed to own Alaska, which was also inhabited by so-called Eskimos, and when Russia sold that land to America, the Eskimos were not consulted on the sale, nor did they gain any financial benefit.
Is that true?
Yes. So now we humans of all colors are in the same situation our white ancestors put the various Native American tribes in. The French and the Russians were wrong to claim to own land they did not inhabit and to sell those lands to America. And America was wrong to claim ownership of those lands when they were inhabited by separate peoples. But that's the insidious nature of white supremacy. And I'd think that you, as a race capable of traveling between the stars, wouldn't be as bigoted and stupid as our own ancestors were centuries ago. We grew out of our bigotry. What's your excuse?
Based on what we heard back then, I don't think those Rebecos should be trusted. What if they try to swindle us like they did the Sabari elitists?
The USS Sandy makes a warp jump to the Sabari home world, and there Richard meets with President Nicholas to discuss the discovery of the Rebeco colony and the Alpha Centauri system. We already knew the Rebecos were encroaching on our own territory, but now they are doing the same to you humans? This is unacceptable. At least they gave you a map of all the territory they claim.
What do you know about these Rebecos?
The most recent information we have on them indicates that about 10,000 years ago, their home world, named Rebecon, was devastated in a nuclear war. Over 99% of the population was wiped out, and even most of the few survivors had genes that were badly damaged by radiation from the nuclear fallout. But there was one Rebeco, a young man, whose genes were not so damaged. In a desperate attempt to perpetuate their race, the Rebeco survivors had this man cloned. First hundreds of clones, then thousands, and finally many millions, until after several centuries, they were able to repopulate Rebecon. Then they began to expand to other systems. The complete lack of diversity in the Rebeco race means they can be totally unified under one leadership, with no conflicts between competing factions in their race. But it also means they have no reason to tolerate any outsiders, like us Sabari and Nikos, or you humans.
And thus they might seek to conquer or even exterminate us.
Exactly. The simple fact that they have gone so far as to colonize the nearest star system to your own is concerning. It's much like what first the Sabari elitists, and later the Chinese attempted to do to Mars.
So war may be inevitable with the Rebeco Empire.
I certainly think so. Now, let me show you something. President Nicholas shows Richard a pic of a captured Rebeco scout. We used a mind probe to force this scout to reveal what he knew about his own people, then we executed him. But we kept tissue samples we took from his body to do experiments on. And those experiments have resulted in us developing deadly viruses we can use on the Rebecos. If they do attack us, we can retaliate by deploying the viruses on their own planets, resulting in many millions of Rebeco clones dying due to their lack of resistance. Their very nature as a clone race is their biggest weakness. They cannot adapt to changing environments, and any virus that kills one can kill all of them. Richard then returns to the USS Sandy to confer with Diana and Jennifer.
We haven't even gone to war with these Rebecos yet, but the Sabari president is already talking about genocide. The Sabari certainly proved how ruthless they were when they blasted over 200 million Chinese in their attacks on Earth. I hope they do not expect us to join in their war effort against the Rebecos. Exterminating an entire race, even one of clones, does not seem right to me.
What is it, Jennifer? If these Rebecos are a threat to both us and the Sabari, I think killing off billions of clones to stop the expansion of their empire is justified. Their very nature as a clone race means they can control their rate of reproduction. They have chosen to reproduce so fast out of greed and lust for power. They could have remained only on their home planet and limited their numbers. They are like a cancer spreading fast. Cancer cells are living things, yet we seek to destroy them to save the rest of a patient's body. She's right. So what should we do next?
We should go back to Earth and tell Mother W about what we know now. Jennifer, set the course for the solar system.
Course plotted. The space-time warp device is ready now. Engaging.
Wah! The USS Sandy now returns to Earth, where a discussion is held about the situation regarding the Sabari and the Rebecos, via teleconference. And another issue is dealt with as well.
So how are our granddaughter and her cousins doing in Dallas, Jennifer? They are doing great. Clearly, we made the right decision leaving them here with Richard's fathers.
Charles and I concur with that. The twins have even taken an interest in my current gardening project.
Yes, they love growing their own plants. Pelly even told me one time she would like to work on a farm someday.
We need to figure out what can be done regarding the Rebecos and the plan of the Sabari president to exterminate the entire Rebecos race.
We already know how ruthless the Sabari are at waging war. Not only against China a couple of months ago, but against even themselves. If they ever become our enemies, they might slaughter us too.
That's my concern as well, Mother Carrie. In my mind, genocide is never justified, even against a clone race.
I've got it. Even if we let the Sabari wipe out the Rebeco clones, what if we picked up some non-clone Rebecos to allow the race to be perpetuated naturally instead of by cloning?
How would we do that? If there are no surviving non-clone Rebecos now? Try thinking outside the box, Uncle James. We could travel back in time over 10,000 years and make contact with Rebecos living in the time before the nuclear war that ruined their home world and decimated the original Rebeco race.
And persuade some of them to come forward in time with us to replace the Rebeco clones that the Sabari have exterminated. Wow! That is absolutely brilliant. I think we can all agree that this is the best option. We not only save lives, we save an entire race from the biological trap they put themselves into. Very well. Richard, I order you to carry out this plan.
Meanwhile, on the Sabari homeworld, President Aklas, all of the ships in our battle fleet have been equipped with bombs containing the virus to wipe out the Rebecos. Shall we proceed? Yes, General. I want every planet known to be inhabited by Rebecos to be bombed. Thanks to the map provided by the humans, we can finally wipe the Rebecos out and have peace in our parts of the galaxy. The very existence of those clones is an abomination. As you command, my leader. Debbie now summons Admiral Omar to meet with her.
Admiral, I have a new assignment for you. As you know, we built a massive ship intended to transport hundreds of colonists from Earth to another planet.
Yes. But we have since learned that Mars cannot be terraformed and the Alpha Centauri system has been occupied by an alien race. So what is to be done with that giant ship? Carrying troops to fight a battle is one possibility, right?
Yes. Anyway, I just learned that the Sabari are planning to go to war with the Rebecos and intend to use deadly viruses to kill most of the Rebecos. Now, I am not comfortable with outright acts of genocide, so I have come up with a plan to save the Rebecos without breaking our alliance with the Sabari. So listen carefully.
General, all the ships have been launched. Good. We will follow the plan of invasion drawn up by me and President Aklas. And so over the next several weeks, dozens of Sabari ships make surprise attacks, including bombing runs, on every planet inhabited by Rebecos clones, including the inhabited planet in the Alpha Centauri system. The Rebecos had assumed the Sabari would attack them using standard military tactics, and thus were unprepared for the biological assault they would be facing. And as a result,
What is happening? So many of us are suddenly falling ill. My lungs are filling up with fluid. I can't breathe.
and as time passes, things only get worse.
There's nothing we can do. We have never had to deal with anything like this before. This seems to be infecting everyone. The pain is getting worse.
Eventually, even the Rebelco Supreme Leader comes down with the virus.
Hack, hack. Hack, hack. I'm so weak.
And so billions of Rebelco clones are wiped out as the virus continues to spread, facing no resistance from the infected population. Welcome aboard the USS Mayflower. So, James Smith Bentley, we meet again. Are you ready for the trip? Of course. It certainly beats sitting on my ass at the Smith-Wilson mansion. I hated being forced into retirement. Now I feel useful again. I just hope you humans know what you are doing. I mean, why would you go out of your way to save an alien race like the Rebelcos? Because we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person and therefore every race, Ambassador. If we allow a race to become completely extinct, we are all lessened. Your own history is filled with examples of your kind not living up to that principle, even among yourselves. That's true, and I have never said we are perfect even now. But that's no excuse for not trying to be better and do the most good we can. That must be the ship's PR system. Attention all crew members and passengers of the Mayflower. In 30 minutes, we will launch. Go to your designated positions now, and soon. The USS Mayflower has been launched from Earth. Though built to hold up to 400 people, it currently has only a skeleton crew of 50 Space Force members, plus about a dozen civilian passengers. Okay. Lieutenant Garma, set the course for the Sabari homeworld.
Course to the Sabari homeworld plotted. Engaging.
Later, Richard meets with Sabari President Aklas again.
My mother has ordered me to obtain a sample of the virus you are using against the Rebelcos. She is concerned that such a virus may pose a threat to humans and other life forms on Earth.
We designed the virus to kill only Rebelcos, not anyone else. But of course, it is better to make sure of that. Plus, since we are allies, it is fitting that we share all technology and weapons, including viruses.
Greetings. I am Dr. Mindy, the scientist who created the anti-Rebelco virus. As ordered by President Aklas, here is a sample of the virus.
Thank you, Doctor. You may have helped me prevent many unintended deaths today.
Richard now takes the virus with him back to the USS Mayflower. And then the following day.
Admiral, we have finished sequencing the DNA structure of the anti-Rebelco virus. As I hoped, it poses no threat to humans. It is designed specifically to target genetic markers of the Rebelco clones.
But can you create a vaccine we can use to protect non-clone Rebelcos?
Yes, Admiral. It may take a few weeks, but I am certain of it.
Very well. I will return to the bridge.
Admiral, the central star system of the Rebelco Empire is about 320 light-years from here. It would be a simple matter for us to do a space jump to that system. But you are also asking us to make a jump in both space and time. To do that, we must know the movements of the stars in this part of the galaxy, including the ones that the Sabari homeworld and the planet Rebecon orbit, and then plan our trajectory to arrive at the star system of Rebecon.
How long will it take to calculate the required trajectory?
With the help of the computers, I estimate it will take about 4 to 6 hours. Course to the planet Rebecon about 10,000 years in the past is plotted, Admiral.
Let's hope your calculations were correct, Lieutenant. Proceed now.
Engaging.
James Smith Bentley, where and when are we now? Can you tell?
It looks like Lieutenant Garma got that right. We are near a star that looks identical to the one the planet Rubicon is known to orbit.
Sir, we are detecting radio and television broadcasts from the nearby system.
Start recording some of those broadcasts so that they can be analyzed later.
We have confirmed that the star system we have arrived at is indeed that of the planet Rubicon about 10,000 years ago. Unlike Rubicon of our native time, this world has two distinct forms of Rubico people. First, there are the orange-colored ones that are similar to the Rubico clones of our time, but are not clones. They call themselves round stars. And there are also yellow-skinned Rubicos. Also not clones, but on the opposite side of the planet from the orange ones. These are called Gormaks.
So one can already infer that the orange Rebicals exterminated their yellow neighbors in the nuclear war and then founded the Rebico Empire we know today. Still think the orange Rebico clones of our time shouldn't be wiped out, Cousin Richard?
I suppose it is a matter of what goes around comes around. In any case, we definitely should save the yellow Rebicos, the Gormaks, from being killed off. We cannot prevent the nuclear war, that would wipe out the timeline we know. But we can save some yellow Rebicos, and maybe some orange ones too, and take them with us to our native time.
Yes, that's the whole point of coming in this massive ship. I will order the Mayflower to approach the planet Rubicon.
No, I'm not saying you humans are wrong to want to save Rebicos living in the past. I'm just astonished you would even attempt such a feat. You clearly have a value system quite different from those of Sabari. Different, but not something worth opposing.
I'm glad you were open-minded about the matter. I and James were worried you Sabari might be angry and even threaten us over what we are attempting.
No, we're not monsters. We just believe it is best to make sure an enemy that is defeated can never threaten us again. Otherwise, we make possible another war later in which more die needlessly. And I am actually glad President Smith invited me to come on this mission. She is clearly one that likes to keep everything transparent. I will have to report to President Aklas everything I know about this mission once it is done.
Of course.
So we have arrived. Now let us contact the people of this world and hope they listen to reason.
Obviously, if they don't, this may be a very short and violent mission. But I will do my best to be diplomatic, for everyone's sake.
The USS Mayflower now approaches the planet Rebico 10,000 years in the past, and Admiral Omar sends the Rebico people a message. Greetings, peoples of the planet Rubicon. I am Admiral Thomas Omar, commanding officer of the starship Mayflower, and we humans come in peace to make first contact with you. Please respond so we can have a dialogue. Hello! I am Nurat, President of the Gormak Republic. This is the first time we have encountered beings from another planet. You are welcome to land at one of our airports. We will send a beacon to guide your ship to our capital city.
This is Boris Lazar, Supreme Leader of the Ronstar Empire. You claim to come in peace, but our long-distance scans show your vessel is equipped with several laser cannons capable of destroying a Ronstar plane with one shot. So stay away from us.
Such completely different responses, Admiral. Yes, Commander, clearly reflecting the different ideologies of the two leaders. One is idealistic, seeking to learn from others, while the other is bigoted towards outsiders. We must be careful. A few hours later, the USS Mayflower has landed at the Gormak capital city. Admiral Omar, Ambassador Fredrin, and Richard Sims go to meet with President Nurat at his mansion. I am glad to meet you. I am hopeful we could exchange knowledge. So what planet are you from, Admiral? I and Richard Sims come from the planet Earth. Ambassador Fredrin here is from the Sabari homeworld. Sabari homeworld? You do not have a name for your own world?
We never thought it needed one. Maybe after we colonize several other planets, we may give it a proper name. Tell us about the Ronstar Empire that you share this planet with. They sent us a rather hostile message as we approached. Yes. We Gormaks and the Ronstars have been enemies for centuries.
They regard us as lesser beings and want to either conquer or exterminate us. In fact, the ancestors of the Ronstars conquered parts of our land about 500 years ago, and it was only in the last century that we were able to kick them out. Because of them, we are forced to spend far too much money on our military instead of providing better care for our people. And we certainly can't afford space missions. That's why I am overjoyed to see another civilization that has achieved space flight. You are clearly peaceful and enlightened people.
Thank you.
What's that? It's an attack from the Ronstars, probably in response to you coming here. But we won't let them harm you. General Anthro, report.
Sir, we have spotted dozens of Ronstar fighter jets above our territory and they have already hit the city of Liren with many bombs.
Mobilize our own air forces to destroy those fighters. How dare you attack my people? If you want war, you got it, Lazar.
You shouldn't have allowed those aliens to land on your territory. I won't let them give you more advanced technology so you can defeat us later. You will be destroyed first.
I am so sorry, President Nereb. It seems the war has actually started because of us. This is not your fault. The Ronstars have clearly been looking for an excuse to wage all-out war against us. Do you and the Ronstars have nuclear weapons? Indeed we do. Enough nuclear missiles and bombs to destroy every major city on this planet. We thought building such powerful weapons would deter the Ronstars from attacking us. And vice versa, of course.
Then I will tell you why we are really here. We actually come from 10,000 years in your own future. We learned that your civilization destroyed itself in a nuclear war, and then out of the ashes of that rose a new Rebiko Empire, consisting only of orange Rebikos, clones of one man who survived the war, and then repopulated this planet, and then spread beyond it to conquer other worlds.
So you came here to find out what caused the nuclear war and where all these clones came from.
Exactly. Those orange Rebiko clones were threatening to overrun both Sabari and human territories. To stop them, we Sabari created a virus to infect and kill all the clones. We should have known that the orange Rebikos of your time were just as evil.
But maybe we can save a few of your people before they are killed in the coming nuclear war. Let us take a few hundred Gormaks onto our ship. Very well, I will order some Gormak military officers, soldiers, and their families to go on board your ship. I will stay behind and lead the fight against that madman Boris Lazar. Even if he does destroy us, we will give him a massive repair bill for his shattered nation.
It starts with
one thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away. It's so unreal. Didn't look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on to didn't even know I wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to be will eventually be a memory of a time I tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to remind myself how I tried so hard. In spite of the way you were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property, remembering all the times you fought with me, I'm surprised it got so. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all.
as you might expect, things are about to get a whole lot worse. The Ronstars and the Gormax of the planet Rubicon are now in a state of total war. And even while that happens, the crew of the USS Mayflower proceed to take on board hundreds of Gormac refugees to save their lives. Greetings, Admiral Omar. I am Dr. Doric, son of President Nerad. I and some of my colleagues and their families will be joining you.
Likewise, I, General Anthro, and some of my fellow officers, soldiers, and their families are coming aboard. We are so thankful at you for saving our lives.
I wouldn't celebrate just yet. We have to avoid being destroyed by Ronstar forces.
I will order several fighters to accompany your ship as it launches.
Admiral Omar wants to know if you have developed a vaccine for the Rebuco-killing virus yet.
Yes, we have. We will start making doses of it to give to the Gormac refugees here. So how many are we taking in?
We have counted 354, including about 89 children.
Admiral Omar tells me you have a vaccine for a virus that could infect and kill us Rubicos in your native time.
Yes. But we only just created it and we have not tested it yet. Since you are a doctor, can you help us?
Yes! You may proceed to inject me with the vaccine. Then in a few days inject me with the virus.
Are you sure? You could die.
I will take that risk. If the vaccine works, it will be worth it to save my people. My lord, the Gormax have already destroyed all the planes we sent to bomb their cities, and now they are also blasting our ships near their own coastal regions. Our war effort is failing.
Then we step up our efforts. Start launching our nuclear missiles at them. I want them destroyed, General.
But sir, we don't know what unleashing our entire nuclear arsenal may do to our global environment. And don't the Gormax have their own nuclear weapons?
I don't care. This is war and I intend to win it. So do as I command.
Admiral Omar, if you are going to launch your ship, do it now. I just heard that the Ronstars are launching their nuclear weapons and they are heading for my cities. We can't stop them. We can only make a counterstrike to inflict as much damage to them as they intend to do to us. So this is the end. I am sorry, President Nerad, but as promised, I will save your son and some of your people. Commander, we are out of time. Launch the ship, now. Yes, sir. Engaging engines at full blast. And even as the USS Mayflower rises in the sky, nuclear missiles continue to be launched and then rain down on both Gormac and Ronstar cities, destroying them. Admiral, the time and space warp device is ready. What is our course heading? Our native time. And the solar system. Lieutenant Garma already made the calculations for the warp jump. So she did. And I will follow her course. Activating warp device. Wow.
We did it, Commander. We are indeed near the solar system.
But are we in the right time? We will find out soon enough.
Welcome back, Admiral. I trust your mission was a success?
Totally, Madam President. We took on board 354 Rebecos from 10,000 years ago and have brought them here. So, where should we take them? Back to the planet Rebeco.
I don't think that would be wise. We and the Sabari need to make sure that the Rebeco Empire of our native time is not still a threat. Plus the Rebecos you rescued may still be vulnerable to the virus the Sabari created. So for now, take the Rebecos with you to Mars. I'm sure Governor Malley can handle them.
As you command. And speaking of that virus, and the vaccine made against it.
Dr. Doric, we have confirmed that the vaccine works. You are indeed completely immune to the deadly anti-Rebeco virus. Good. Then I will help you and the other humans give the vaccine to all the other Gormic refugees.
And so Mars colony gains hundreds of new residents. Epilogue. Debbie meets with President Klaus yet again.
In any other context, what you just did, first to the Chinese on Earth by killing over 200 million of them, and then to the Rebecos by using a virus to kill billions of them, would get you Sabari branded as genocidal maniacs. Now there is a fear you may one day exterminate us too. What have you to say to that, Klaus?
As long as I am in charge, you have my word that we are no threat to you, because you have never harmed us. But we Sabari believe in preventing our own destruction by taking action to destroy the enemy. We thought you humans were the same way. And then you humans go out of your way to save the Rebecos by bringing yellow ones from the past to replace the orange clones we Sabari were exterminating. For that, I am humbled. We certainly will welcome these yellow Rebecos as neighbors and perhaps allies.
Give them some time to adjust to their new environment on Mars before you even approach them, Klaus. They just lost their homes due to a nuclear war, and they will certainly have good reason to distrust you, just as many of us humans do. But for now, I will accept your explanation and agree to continue our alliance.